art in chemistry. Different materials burn at different temperatures and produce various colors. For example, sodium produces a bright yellow flame, while copper gives off a stunning green glow. It's like a fiery light show, and the colors tell you what's being burned. So if you're ever at a bonfire and see a rainbow of flames, you might be witnessing a chemistry experiment gone wild. Now let's talk about heat transfer. Fire doesn't just stay in one place. It spreads, and it spreads fast. This is where conduction, convection, and radiation come into play. Conduction is when heat travels through a solid material. Think of it like a game of hot potato, where the heat gets passed along from one particle to another. Then there's convection, which we already discussed, where heat moves through fluids. That includes air, folks. And finally, there's radiation, which is the transfer of heat through electromagnetic waves. That's why you can feel the warmth of a fire, even if you're sitting a few feet away. It's like the fire is sending you a cozy hug from a distance. Now let's take a moment to appreciate the sheer power of fire. It's not just a pretty light show, it's a force of nature. Ever heard of the fire triangle? It's a simple concept that explains how fires start and spread. Picture a triangle with three corners: fuel, heat, and oxygen. If you remove one of those elements, poof, the fire goes out. This is why firefighters are always trying to cut off the fuel supply or douse the flames with water, because they know that taking away one side of the triangle will bring the whole thing crashing down. But let's not forget the dark side of fire. While it can provide warmth and light, it can also be incredibly destructive. Forest fires, house fires, and wildfires can wreak havoc, and understanding the physics behind fire can help us prevent and control these disasters. For instance, did you know that the way a fire spreads through a forest is influenced by the wind? Wind can carry embers and ignite new areas, turning a small fire into a raging inferno in no time. So the next time you're out in nature, remember to respect the power of fire and keep those campfires contained. Now let's Whether it's roasting marshmallows, dancing with flames, or simply enjoying the warmth of a fire on a chilly night, you're now equipped with the knowledge to see the magic behind the flames. So go ahead, ignite your curiosity, and let the fire of knowledge burn bright.